I am not a productivity girly, but I am trying to get my life to flow. I dump my brain in a special app that I use called Workflowy. I sort of sketch out general ideas of day-to-day stuff in my iPad, in my planner, but the real nitty-gritty of the moment-to-moment stuff is just scratched out in this thing over here. Let's jump into a few ideas. Let's do this together. Let's learn. Let me show you how I brain dump in Workflowy. If you've heard of Getting Things Done, the method by David Allen, it sort of helps me with the capture part of that. And then I'm going to show you how to import your PDF planner that you buy on Etsy or wherever into your iPad if you use Goodnotes. I happen to be offline today because I have a crash with my server, or God knows what. Is that a modem? Yeah. But this gives me an opportunity to show you how I use Affinity, which is a very heavy design software. I also use Canva, but I'm going to sort of be commenting on what Affinity lets me do that Canva does not, and maybe vice versa. We can learn a lot together about the power of Canva. So many people are using it right now. Let's jump in. So I'm a tracker instead of a planner per se. I like being able to make lots and lots of lists, but essentially when I finally track what I do, I have to write it down on paper. So the first thing we'll look at is actually my Workflowy. So you can see here, I've got, this is the name of my company, Story Keeper Press. And I'm just showing you basically how I plan, some thinking around my launches and stuff. But really the reason why I use Workflowy so much is because of the way that it sort of drop down menu infinite, like it's infinite. I don't know if Notion has this as well, but I'll just show you how this works. For example, need to create Canva template for community. Try serif fonts. Need more minimal layout. And then under serif fonts, maybe I want to say Garamond analog, which just means like I want to look for something that looks like Garamond but isn't at Garamond. Currently using in Canva ? So that's just gonna allow me to keep going. So basically I know what fonts I'm using in Canva. So what I'm writing down now is like my kerning is 60 points, like what am I using now? And then if I need a more minimal layout inspired by paper planners, but there is an element of tactile function that is like it becomes very, it can be a little bit overwhelming to have too much hyper realistic textures. So like I'm just thinking as I'm fleshing out ideas, and I'm able to do that with extreme depth using Workflowy. So what I will do next is I'm going to show you, I've got another, I'm just going to show you, let's make it a print document. So I've got a new print document open now in my computer, and I will show you how I build a page in Affinity. It can be, we can do this in Canva anytime, and I'm happy to film that for you. Just tell me if you need it. But we will be working on a page here in a moment. Right now, I'm going to open up my iPad, which is here, and I am going to screen share how I export it to Goodnotes. So what I mean by it, I'm going to share with you how I export my PDF, any organizer that you use, how do you export it to Goodnotes, right? Open the PDF in your iPad. When you open it from your files, it will ask you if you want to open it in iBooks. You can, but what you do is you tap the button next to open in iBooks, this arrow out button over here, and then open it in Goodnotes. Actually, yeah, I've already opened it in Goodnotes. So when you basically import it as a new document, and when you import it as a new document, you have all your pages here. Okay, so this is my planner. Hey, future Marie here, editing Marie here. My voiceover didn't match up with what I was doing, so please bear with me for a while. I'll just leave this footage here and then we'll jump straight into the next bit, hopefully. So the next thing we're going to do is to take a page like that daily planner. So I'm just going to very quickly import it for us to see. Yep, okay. So I've got the weekly overview. This is the page that I give, that I'm going to share with everybody for free. If you want it, I'll leave it in the description box. I don't want to collect emails or anything. It's yours to use. I might give you a version that just makes sure that you know who made it, so that if you ever remember that you want more of the same, you can come back to me. But yeah, this version right now has no, there's nothing on it to show you that I made it. Okay, so what I've done is I've put this on the canvas. Look, transferable skills, okay? Canva is basically an extremely powered up, intelligent, user-friendly version of these very hyper detailed design softwares that I've been using for 20 years. So what you're seeing here is I've imported a flat PNG. It's not an interactive document. These fonts I don't even have on the computer. These are all Canva fonts that I selected to use here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly, and here you can't just change the back. I think you can change the background of the document, but I never do it this way. I'm really old school. And this isn't as easy or intelligent. Like, it's not telling you, it's not letting you easily change the background. But what I'm doing is I'm just making sure, because this is an A4 artboard, I'm just making sure that the background is the same. So what I'm doing here is I'm grouping this, and then I'm making sure that the opacity is like 40, maybe 30, okay? Now, when you do that, if you want to make your new weekly overview with the fonts that you like, I mean, I can share this to anyone in a Canva template, for example, and they can adapt it to what they like. But what I'm doing here is I'm just showing you what it takes to create a template of any kind for yourself. So if you want to customize a template for yourself at any time, this is the work it will take. I have created a text box, which you can do in Canva as well. I'm going to choose a font that I like. There's a few fonts lately that I've downloaded. Oh gosh, I've forgotten the names. There are a few beautiful fonts that I've downloaded. We'll start with this. So this is a very classic font. It's very old lady-like, and guess what? I am an old lady through and through. So this goes just nicely. It's currently black. So 96 is too big, 72 is too small. So let's try 80. Can you see how I can't, like, because this is, I can't just resize it and it won't just become, you know, the font won't just become smaller. So I've got a 78 font, too big too. So you see, this is why Canva is better. But of course, I'm then allowed to do a lot more with this. For example, if I wanted to do that, all I needed to do is to turn this into a vector. So this is what Canva won't let you do. So when I press Command and Return, suddenly these become individual. They become individuals. So if I ungroup them, I can suddenly play with this. Can you see? Now, I don't want to keep that. And I actually don't know if I want to, I don't want them to be individual, and I don't want them to be curves. So in the meantime, what I'll do is I will just choose a color that I know I love. I'm going to go for, let's just be interesting and go for Pantone colors. And I'm just going to choose a color that I know is quite safe for me to use. Let's try something a little bit pink. I don't know, that's really, really pink, don't you think? So I don't actually know the ideas behind choosing these colors. In terms of like Pantone, I don't know the different details. People who work in print, who are specifically working in print, they'll be able to give you more information about this. But this is the level of detail that's not available in Canva, and I think that's probably for the best, because everyone's just going to get too overwhelmed with it. Okay, so I've decided on this dusty pink that's almost a little bit brown, and I want it to be centered. So one of the lovely things about working in a program like this is I can center or uncenter things. Just looking up here, I can already center them. I don't have to go to position. I don't have to right click anything. Having toolbars like this make a huge difference. And in some ways it's faster to design here. In some ways it's faster to design on Canva. So I have, this is gonna take a while, but let's just do it, okay? So week of, the word week of, okay. So I'm not gonna use this cursive font here. I'm definitely going to go with something I like. I don't think I have League Spot in here. I don't have Brandon Grotesque. I'm pretty sure I have Futura. I do have Futura, so I'm just going to use it. Futura medium. So you see how I don't have this like AI of fonts that I can reach into. It's not like this list that's magically curated by Canva. I've got hundreds of fonts, and on other computers I've had like 16,000 fonts or something like that. You know what I mean? So like in a way you might want to, you know, there is a real plus point in not using like in using Canva, you have everything curated for you, your favorite fonts are saved. Like over here, I have to remember the names of things. And you know what? In a way, that's really good training for a designer because it makes you be so disciplined. So I've just made a line here with my pen tool. And the interesting thing is I've been able to use the name of this font is, I can't even remember. Oh my gosh, when did I turn it? Okay, anyway, I know it starts with English. Yeah, English word. Okay, so this does not look good small. I'm gonna have to turn it up to about maybe 16 for it to work out, right? This is things I'd like to get around to this week. Now, this is the question, like, can you see how this does not read well at a smaller scale? So, for example, let me kill the group. That's not legible at a small scale. It's not going to work when you're rushing around trying to read things. So I'm going to very quickly just use something. I don't know. Do I have Cormorant? I don't have Cormorant. Do I have Garamond? I'm sure I have Garamond. I don't have Garamond. Wow. You see, this is where I miss my old computer. This is a fair, like I have another computer that I design on a lot and everything is there. But I do light touch stuff here. And it's very clear to me that I don't have all my favorite fonts, which is Montpellier handwritten. Do you know what? I think I downloaded this. So that's right. I have the handwritten version of the Montpellier font, and then I have the cursive version. So now that looks quite nice. So you've been with me for the past 12 minutes. So I have some special, I don't know, can I find? I've got a lot of icons that I've used to make this. I don't know. Can I find my little icons? There are icons that I've used, like the footer of the planner, done later, stop, delete. I don't know that I have every single thing in here that I need to do it, but that's okay. You're still here for the journey to find out what's going on here. Okay, so see that? Okay, so I'm just gonna make it, let's give it a stroke. Let's give it one stroke. Now I've got, you know. So remember how you can tidy things up in Canva and everybody loves it so much? So let me show you how sophisticated. I mean, Canva is sophisticated, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's not sophisticated. It's just, there are some things you really can do quicker. Like, I can tidy it up just with icons. I don't need to be told what it means because, you know, when you design enough, the design language is pretty clear. So if I hold down the shift key, you know, these are all shortcuts that actually do translate to Canva, I think, if I'm not wrong. So that happened the way I needed it to. And now I'm just going to create these lines. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the thing is, you can't see, but that is all there. And it's called a curve. And all I need to do is distribute it. Well, I accidentally included that one, so let's try this again. Why is that? Okay, so I don't know if I should continue doing this with you because it's so irritating to see me make mistakes. Right? Isn't it? Are you irritated with me yet? Right. So I can keep going, but I think you get the general idea. Now I wanted to show you that this is very, very doable. But when you have, like, I think for me, in order for my day-to-day to work, I need to have several of these different formats, like shopping lists. And I can show you my product at some point when I'm ready. But okay, instead, I'm just going to do something really quickly for you. I'm just going to show you how I'd finish this off, right? Now, each of these images, the ones here, this little just all right, pretty okay, decent, wonderful, that's going to take some time for me to put the text boxes in. but I can already see that I have been able to adapt this for myself. So this is clear. I'm going to make it white inside. Okay, so let's say that I decide to, okay, let's unlock this. Let's make this group 100%. And let's take out the weekly page, right? Already that looks so decent, okay? I just need to move a few things around and it's already looking so good. So like I'd put the weekly overview higher, I'd get that up there. And now, even without much work, so I'm just gonna group my ellipses. Even without much work, I have managed to make a very simple page. And I feel like this is the sort of thing I would print out, photocopy many times, or even just print out. I might not have like that background color so much if I were to print it out, and I might make a black and white version of this. But this is how much time it takes to make a page. What's hard is actually making more pages that are in the similar vein to that. And that is what the organizer bundles do. They unify the whole thing in one idea. So I've got a daily planner, I've got a day by the hour, I've got weekly pages, whatever it is I do have here, and I can duplicate the pages as I like. So over here, you can see that if I choose to talk about my focus today, I can write about anything I want, and I don't have to worry about messing up the page. I imported this into Goodnotes. We started with how I use Workflowy, and then I showed you how to import a PDF planner into Goodnotes. And then finally, we worked on how I use Affinity to create a daily page, which I had initially created in Canva. I'm offline today because my router is busted, so I used the opportunity to show you old school. What do you need me to show you next, and what actually got you asking, what more can I learn? Tell me, okay? I'll see you in the next one.